We came across a client who came to us after everything went bad, and she'd been dealing with a supplier in China who she believed was a factory. Ordered some samples, those samples arrived in Australia, they were very good, so she placed an order and sent all of her money to China and asked the supplier to then give her a pre-production sample once it was ready. So the supplier agreed, sent her a pre-production sample, and it was at that stage that the client realised that the pre-production sample was not the same product as the agreed sample. So it was a textile product. The material quality and feel was almost 100% different, and as soon as you looked at it, you realised it was the wrong product. The supplier said, well, it's too bad, I'm not going to replace it, that's what you're getting. And so that's when the client came to us. We went to the supplier, and he was a particularly nasty fellow. We said, well, you know, if you can't make what she agreed on, then we would like the $60,000 back, which was the amount of money she'd already sent to China. And he said no. And he said, what are you going to do about it? Like, this is a real conversation that we had with his supplier. You can try and come and find me, but I'll just close my company down and move down the street, and you know, it's over. So he refused to replace the product, refused to refund the money. The really interesting part of this kind of investigation that we did was that he was actually a middleman. He wasn't actually a factory. He refused to tell us who the factory was because we very quickly realised that he wasn't a manufacturer. So we did some inquiries and we found out who the factory was, and we spoke directly to the factory. And he'd also cheated that factory. So he promised that factory that he would pay $20,000. They went ahead and ordered materials, and they hadn't been paid either. So not only did he get $60,000 off our client and she got no products, but the factory in China that had been promised $20,000, and in good faith they ordered the materials based on that promise, were also in a situation where, you know, they didn't have any recourse either.